Have you ever wondered why there are 12 zodiac signs? And why they all last for 30 days and take up 30 degrees of space? In this video, we'll explain all that and more. I believe the classical zodiac of astrology is one of the greatest works of art humanity has yet to conceive. Its 12-fold equal dimensions, its rulership by the 7 planets, its stratification of gender binaries, and its patterns of elemental triplicities and modal quadruplicities. Each one is so balanced and symmetrical, and each one interacts with the others so gracefully, to weave an incredibly rich, symbolic framework that reflects the depth and complexity of life itself. This is a new series, so far we've only really explored the introductory concept that astrology itself is artistic and beautiful. Now let's start to dive into the details. Let's explore the beauty behind the zodiac's dimensions and divisions. This line represents the horizon. The horizon is what makes the sun appear to rise and set. The direction along the horizon where the sun rises is what we call the east. After the sun rises, it climbs into the sky until it reaches the next waypoint, midday, its highest point, its most upper point. Then, as the Earth continues to spin, the horizon continues to move, so the sun appears to descend, to touch the horizon again and set. We call that direction west. The motion continues and the sun progresses to its next waypoint, its lowest, most downward position, which we call midnight. These are the 4 tropos, or waypoints, that the sun traverses over the course of a day. Now this motion is mirrored exactly over the course of a year. This line looks the same as the one we just saw, but now, instead of representing the Earth's horizon, it represents the Earth's equator. The sun has a yearly motion relative to the equator, which is exactly analogous to its daily motion relative to the horizon. When it rises upward over the equator, we call that the equinox, because the effect of it is that the days are equally long as the nights. We call this the ascending equinox because it's the year's equivalent to a sunrise, and thus the celestial equivalent of east. After rising, the sun continues to climb until it reaches its highest point over the equator, which we call the solstice, specifically the ascended solstice. Then, as the Earth continues to revolve around the sun, the equator keeps changing its orientation to the sun, and that makes the sun appear to move, and now it descends until it touches the equator again, which is another equinox. We call this the descending equinox, and it's the year's equivalent to a sunset, and thus the celestial equivalent to west. As the motion continues, the sun's apparent progress continues until it reaches its next waypoint, another solstice. This is the descended solstice. These are the 4 tropos, or waypoints, that the sun traverses over the course of a year. They form a cross, and that cross is the backbone of the zodiac. The moon orbits our sky almost exactly 12 times faster than the sun. And as a result, there are basically 12 lunar cycles in the course of one solar cycle. So as the sun moves between the ascending equinox and solstice, this moon will make 3 lunar cycles, or 3 full moons. And that tempo will continue between each of the 4 markers. Now we have 12 markers affixed to our 4 cardinal waypoints. Is it starting to look familiar? If not, draw a line from the center out to each marker. Now does it look familiar? Do you see the 12 divisions? Is the question answered now? Why there's 12? Do you see how they're the same size? 30 degrees each? Is that question answered now? Beauty is based on symmetry and clarity of definition. Do you now see the clarity and symmetry that defines the zodiac's basic shape? Beauty is an external effect of internal nature. Do you now see the beautiful natural dance between the sun and the moon at the heart of the dimensions of the zodiac? I hope this video helped you appreciate one of the many beautiful symmetrical aspects of the classical zodiac. and how it interacts so gracefully with other zodiacal facets to weave an incredibly rich symbolic lattice that is truly one of the greatest creative works of art humanity has ever conceived. If you like this video, you can use this playlist to watch all the videos in this series. And of course, please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave some comments. Thank you so much.